We good? Double click. All right. Shalom. Most High in Christ bless. Welcome to today's class. Hope everyone's having a good Sabbath. I'm Brother Jacob. And to my left,
Brother Al Judah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody's surprised to see us together today.
All praises.
Yeah, but we're getting into the Feast of the Dedication, the rededication. So what we're going over today is our brothers fighting for their own people and for the law of the Lord. That's what we're getting into today. The rededication of the temple. And let me say this. If you have a 9 candle menorah, that's a problem. We ain't supposed to have
Some class.
we ain't supposed to have a 9-candle menorah. So that's something that the Jewish people do. You ain't gonna find that in the scriptures. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna go back to the book of Daniel, chapter 11, and start at verse 30.
Just the book of Daniel, chapter 11 and verse 30. For the ships of Chittim shall come against him. Therefore he shall be grieved and return and have indignation against the holy covenant. So shall he do. He shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant.
Right. So we went over last night. You had that coon go up and be the first one to sacrifice in front of Judas.
He got judged for it.
Right. A righteous judgment. You're not supposed... Somebody that sacrificed to another god, the law says you ain't supposed to have no pity for him. So, anyway, this is going into Antiochus. So, he was getting intelligence from our people. Now, keep going. Verse 31.
Verse 31. An arm shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifices, and they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate.
Right, the abomination of desolation, that's what they set up. They destroyed our people, destroyed us, and our temple. One and the same. The Lord is showing you one and the same. Like we asked the question last night, why did he allow his temple to be destroyed? Showing you that you supposed to be the temple.
And you got to get raised back up again.
Right. You got to be cleansed.
Right.
That's what all of this is about. You got to be cleansed. They defiled you. They made you filthy with all kinds of abomination. It's crazy. They're sacrificing swine flesh at the temple, and then they forcing our people to eat the swine flesh. But we don't see that spiritually. They try to get Eleazar, old man Eleazar, to do it. Try to get the 7 sons to do it. And in First Maccabees 1, they did the same thing. Go ahead. What was we at?
Verse 32.
Yeah, read verse 32.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 11 and verse 32. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits.
Yeah, that's what this is about. Those people. That will be Judas, his sons, his brethren. And as we're going to read, the 10,000 that rode with him to fight against the enemy. Go ahead.
Verse 33. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many. Yet they shall fall by the sword, and by flame, by captivity, and by spoil many days.
Go ahead.
Verse 34. Now when they shall fall, they shall be hoping with a little help, but many shall cleave to them with flatteries. Verse 35. And some of them of understanding shall fall to try them and to purge and to make them white even to the time of the end, because it is yet for an appointed time.
Right.
For a time appointed.
Even though our brothers fought valiantly, they had an end. I can't, matter of fact, most of them got put to death. And then you have John Hyrcanus at the end, you make converts of the Idumeans. But anyway, let's get into the meat of it. We're going to First Maccabees chapter 3. So today we're covering chapter 3 and chapter 4. And you can't help but, as we're reading through this, you can't help but think about David, what he told Solomon. Show himself to be a man. Stand stiffly and keep the charge of the Lord your God. So, First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 1.
This is the book of First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 1. Then his son Judas, called Maccabeus, rose up in his stead, and all his brethren helped him. And so did all they that held with his father. And they fought with cheerfulness the battle of Israel.
Right. This is this is something that's strange today. Our people can't come together for nothing. But you know what? It is spiritual though, because like you do have Israel is trying to come together. We're fighting a battle against our enemies, whether they be Christians or whether they be, Amalek, Jewish people, our people, whether they're the other nations. And we're starting to come together. We're starting to. And we got one goal, and that's to get the kingdom, to get back our rightful place as rulers on this earth, so that there can be justice and judgment on this earth. But then you got people that's going to stand up against you, like Stephen A. Smith,
Charles Barkley.
Yeah, all the coons of our people. These pastors that call us black Hebrew Israelites, and all they want. You look on their page, and all you see is the BHI this, the BHI that. One of them sent me a friend request yesterday. I inboxed him like, why are you sending me a friend request?
Right. What do you say?
No response. We don't have time for that, man. It would be cool, but it's pointless. I've been in this 8 years, and I be battling people, battling, and don't nobody. All they do is just keep doing the same thing. It's the same people, and over and over and over. You're going over the same scriptures, and don't nothing change. It's a waste of time. If a brother wants to learn, sharpen his sword, you can glean something out of that. You see where they coming from, how they trying to formulate stuff. But you're not gonna get nowhere with them. It's useless. We got to go to the lost sheep and get them to repent. These people, they 100% again. Like it said in Romans 11, they are enemies for the gospel's sake. That's their position. But not these brethren here. They was together. All right, go ahead, verse 3.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 3. So he got his people great honor and put on a breastplate as a giant.
So it said he got his people great honor. Not for himself, for his people. Go ahead.
So he got his people great honor and put on a breastplate as a giant, and girt his warlike harness about him. And he made battles, protecting the host with his sword. And his axe he was like a lion, and like a lion's whelp roaring for his prey. For he pursued the wicked, and sought them out, and burnt up those that vexed his people.
So this right here is the other nations. He pursued the wicked and sought them out, and burnt up those that vexed his people. Because all this right here is happening in our land. Our enemies have come in our land and doing all kinds of evil to our people. They even, I don't want to give it away. Go ahead.
Verse 6. Wherefore the wicked shrunk for the fear of him, and all the workers of iniquity were troubled, because salvation prospered in his hand.
Right, because salvation prospered in his hand. So the wicked shrunk for fear, and all the workers of iniquity were troubled. So the workers of iniquity, that's talking about our people. So they knew, like when you go back to chapter 2, they was putting the evil of our people to death. So they were in fear. You know what I'm saying? If you're going against the Lord, you better be in fear. They know 100% that the Lord is with these brothers. This few number of brothers is conquering everything they touch. The only way you can do that is you got the Lord with you. Go ahead.
Verse 7. He grieved also many kings, and made Jacob glad with his axe. And his memorial is blessed forever.
Now, don't y'all want that?
That's a good name.
It said he grieved also many kings and made Jacob glad. That's our forefather.
Right.
He made our forefather glad. Go ahead.
Verse 8. Moreover, he went through the cities of Judah, destroying ungodly out of them, and turning away wrath from Israel.
Now that's something right there. People really don't.
Moreover, he went through the cities of Judah, destroying the ungodly.
Yeah, destroying the ungodly, turning away wrath.
But he said that in Judah, so that means
he's
dealing with his own people.
Right.
That's what the Lord said. What's that in Peter? Man, I'm gonna deal with my house first.
Matter of fact, since you said that, let's go to Ezekiel 8. No, Ezekiel 9. 9 and 3 or 4 or something like that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Ezekiel chapter 9, and I'm gonna start at verse 4. I'm gonna start at 4. This the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9 and verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that have been done in the midst thereof.
You could look at this and say this is a prophecy of Judas.
Mm-hmm.
It's a prophecy of them. But hey, it's gonna happen again.
Right.
The thing that have been
Right.
is that which shall
Right.
be. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Genesis-
Hold on. Those that cry and sigh for all the abominations.
Right.
Them putting our people to death. And the Lord said that you have to be circumcised on the 8th day. The Lord sought to kill Moses if he didn't get circumcised. But these people from the other nations are going to come in and tell you can't circumcise your children. And they were killing the mothers. And they were killing the priests, because it was the priests that was their job to circumcise the children on the 8th day. If anybody doing anything dealing with circumcision, you're getting put to death. And they know that's a commandment.
It's crazy.
That's an abomination. Verse 5.
Verse 5, Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 5. And to the others he said in my hearing, Go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Verse 6, Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary.
At my sanctuary. Good God. Go ahead.
Then they begin at the ancient men which were before the house.
So what you think Judas and them, this is what they doing?
Men and women. You sisters don't escape.
Nope. Nobody can escape. Nobody's, and all of this is happening, like we read last night, is happening because of transgression, because of our sins.
Yep.
Now all this is upon our whole nation. Dang. Did you want to hear something before we go back?
I'm gonna read this real quick. This the book of Songs, chapter 37 and verse 37. It says, Mark the perfect man, and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. So that's what's going on right now. The Lord doing it right now again. We just read in Ezekiel 9, the Lord said, mark him. So the scriptures tell you to mark that perfect man. The only way you can know a perfect man is by the scriptures. Only way you know what's perfect, what's good, what's evil, what I can eat, what I cannot eat, is by the scriptures.
100%, man. 100. All right, where was we at?
Yeah, Maccabees 3
Man,
and 8.
look. The misconception today is when you look at a damn Christian pastor with his bow tie, his super tight pants, and his jacket. That's not the image of what the Lord wants us to be.
Right, no.
That's not a man of God.
That's a false image, a false vision, a false spirit come behind, all that come behind that.
But what Judas and his sons and his brethren are doing.
No, they a cult. We don't live like that's a cult. My brothers was in a cult. I'm Power Rangers.
They killing people in the name of the Lord. This is really because the name of the Lord is his commandments.
Right.
And they doing what his commandment said. And you can't get around it.
Man, that's like man, who was that? Was Elijah in Kings, where man, he cursed them little bad children out, and the bears came. So the Lord don't play, man. Like, you don't play with the prophets.
That's that Sirach 39.
Yep. T for wild beasts, right?
Whew. All right, where we at?
Verse 8. This the book of First Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 8. It says, moreover, he went through the cities of Judah, destroying ungodly out of them, and turning away wrath from Israel.
Now, the way he's turning away more wrath from the Lord. Like when Israel came back, Ezra, Nehemiah, and them came back, and they had strange wives of other nations. The reason they made a pact to get rid of them is to turn away the damn wrath of the Lord. That's specifically why they did that.
That's crazy.
Right. The Lord is the one that bring the wrath.
And our people, man, that's the whole mission right now within with the prophets. That's the whole mission. You see the Acts of the Apostles still continuing to this day. That's the whole mission. The whole mission is to turn away God's wrath from. Ain't you sick of seeing all the killing? Ain't you sick of seeing babies dying, little children being shot? That y'all call them stray bullets. We don't believe in that. Y'all, we don't believe in those stray bullets and all the things just happening by coincidence. Everything is of the Lord. So shouldn't you at some point want to, man, ask, like, how can we turn the wrath? Because this is the wrath of the Lord. Don't make no ifs, ands, buts about it. Scripture tell you Amos 3 that should I not be evil in the city and the Lord have not done it. So all the evil and everything you see going on, the Lord is doing this. But at some point, our people that's at the top head of all these atrocities is going on, we supposed to be looking at asking ourselves, why is our God allowing this stuff to happen?
Right.
We sitting here going out to the streets, teaching these classes. We could be doing whatever we want to do. Football on Saturday, whatever we want to be doing. We sitting there out teaching these classes, trying to help our people get out of sin. I went over that this morning in James. Man, he that turneth a sinner, you save his soul when you turn a sinner back to righteousness. So that's our goal, man, is to turn away the wrath of God from our people.
And like you were just talking about in James, that's love.
Right. The highest form of love.
Yes. That's love. Whew, it's strange. We were talking to a brother at camp, man. And he said he didn't agree with why God does all the things to us that he do.
How the creature don't agree with the creator.
Right.
People crazy, man.
Why hast thou made me thus? That's what they saying.
That's crazy.
Right.
Right.
The part of why you formed me.
Right. Verse 9. It says, so that he was removed into the utmost parts of the earth, and he received unto him such as were ready to perish. Verse 10. Then Apollo, how you pronounce that, Jay?
Apollonius.
Go ahead.
But you can jump down to 13.
Just the book of First Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 13. Now when Saron, a prince of the army of Syria, heard say that Judas had gathered unto him a multitude and company of faithful to go out with him to war, he said, I will get me name and honor in the kingdom.
Now he doing it. He wants to make a name for himself. He ain't protecting his people. He not being honorable.
Being self-willed.
So this a heathen. He want to get him a damn name.
What's that spirit called? I can't think of it right now. It'll come to me. Verse 15. So he made him ready to go.
Read 14.
14 again. First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 14. He said, I will get me a name and honor in the kingdom, for I will go fight with Judas and them that are with him, who despise the king's commandment.
See, who despise the king's commandment? They despise the king's commandment because they was like, we don't give a damn what you and the other heathen do. You ain't doing that up in here. We ain't doing no daggone sacrifices to your gods. We ain't sacrificing swine's flesh on your altars that you don't put on top of the altars of our Lord. We ain't doing it. So they despise the king's commandment. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And when he came near to the going up of Beth Horon, Judas went forth to meet him with a small company. Verse 17. Who, when they saw the host coming to meet them, said unto Judas, how shall we be able, being so few, to fight against so great a multitude and so strong, seeing we are ready to faint with fasting all this day?
It kind of reminds you of when they went to seek out the land and they saw the Anakims or something. I was talking about how big they were and gave that evil report. You got the Lord with you.
Right.
100. This whole situation, you see, you got the Lord with you. So, Judas getting ready to give a speech now. And now you...
A mighty one, too.
Right. You think about our people today. A lot of this is dealing with you eating swine's flesh. And then you got our brothers today that will give you any damn excuse.
It don't matter.
Right.
Everything is clean, brother.
Right.
It's not what goes in, brother. Our brothers and sisters right here are literally dying not to eat pork, and you got niggas today in 2022 talk about we can eat whatever. They literally are dying. They literally getting put to death just because they won't taste it.
My goodness.
Verse 18. Unto whom Judas answered, it is no hard matter for many to be shut up in the hands of few. And with the God of heaven, it is all one to deliver with a great multitude or a small company.
So with the Lord, it don't matter if it's a great multitude or a small company. It don't matter.
Verse 19. For the victory of battle standeth not in the multitude of an host, but strength cometh from heaven.
Strength cometh from heaven.
Man,
you
crazy.
Look at us now. All the nations hate us. They hate us for this word right here because we're the chosen people.
Yep.
So it don't matter about multitude. We're going to have the Lord fighting for us. Matter of fact, we got a particular job that we have to do. And when it's time for that physical part, that's when he going to intervene from heaven. We got to do our part. We got to repent, stand stiffly for the Lord, just like our brothers here. You want to go to something?
No, I was, it's crazy. We be in the spirit. This morning I did a morning bread, and I was talking about how the Lord never cared about numbers. And I couldn't think of the brother he was dealing with in Judges. I just looked at it. It was Gideon. Remember Gideon had, how many people he said?
He had
Man, he had a large amount of Israelites getting ready to go to war, and the Lord told him, he said, listen, yo, cut your army. Your army's too big. I don't want Israel to think that they did this of themselves.
Right.
Cut your army down. He cut the army down to 300 men.
Yeah.
And they took the flight 30-some thousand men, 40-some thousand men. So that go to show you, man, and when the Lord with us, it don't matter. It ain't about numbers.
Like the whole thing with Jericho. It's about the Lord.
Yep.
That's you. Why do you think they had to march with the Ark of the Covenant? As long as we upholding the law, the Lord got us in battle. It don't matter who it is.
Them who was that? The Canaanites? They said they heard all that noise. They said, "Man, the God has entered the camp of the Hebrews."
Man, we got to do what the Lord said, and then He got us in everything. And remember now, our main enemy on this earth is Amalek. And back in Exodus 17, if you holding up Moses' arms, you got the victory.
Yep.
That means you upholding this right here. Go ahead. Where we at?
Verse 20. I'll read verse 19 again. First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 19. For the victory of battle standeth not in the multitude of an host, but strength cometh from heaven. Verse 20. They come against us in much pride and iniquity to destroy us and our wives and children and to spoil us. But we fight for our lives and our laws.
And our laws. What do our people stand up for today?
Who will rise up against me against the works of iniquity? They stand up for basketball. Y'all stand up for your frat groups, Alpha, Omega, and all that mad, and you stand up for colleges and your HBCUs, Christianity,
LGBTQ,
ratchet lifestyle.
Oh,
yeah, you definitely stand up for that. We were just talking about that. Sister sitting here. He was showing me a video. Sister pregnant, twerking and dancing. Just look madness, yo.
Bruh, there's a video going around of a pastor. No, it's a dude, an older dude, and they had like some kind of party or something. I think it was, I don't know, I can't say for sure. But his daughter, he was dancing with his wife, and his daughter was behind him. She's an adult, and she starts twerking. And bro saw her, and he turned like that, and she stopped and dipped.
Not these women today. This stupid.
Man, but for her to do that, so behind the scenes, she getting it in.
Right.
If you on the dance floor and then suddenly you start twerking, that don't just happen. Yeah. It's because you've been doing.
It's that spirit that's inside of you.
I know, so I smoked for a long time. When I first started, I was smoking like in the house or whatever by myself. Nobody knew. Mm-hmm. Then over time, you start doing it in front of people.
Yeah.
So for her to do that in front of her dad, she done slipped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she
done slipped in her mind. Her dad looked at her like.
The Most High exposed her ass.
Right.
That's what that happened.
He looked like he was getting ready to hit her with I'll give you 5 across your lips.
Yeah.
She dipped on him.
First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 20. It says, they come against us in much pride and iniquity to destroy us and our wives and our children and to spoil us. But we fight for our lives and our laws. Wherefore the Lord himself will overthrow them before our face.
Good God.
And as for you, be ye not afraid of them.
That's right. Hey, literally, we are at war right now. If you don't understand it, I don't know what to say. Like this whole thing with the Jewish people, it show you who our main enemy is.
Yep.
And then behind the scenes,
that's crazy.
Behind the scenes, we are in a fight. We are in that war. That war in heaven is right now. It's us versus them.
Yep.
And we know we're going to win.
Yep.
They scrambling because they be coming, saying this, saying that. And then when you hit them with a scripture or you hit them with an artifact and you see the little laughy emoji. And I'd be like, but yeah, there was that nervous laughter. Mm-hmm. There's nothing you can do to stop it. If something happened to me, something happened to Al, the Lord got somebody right behind us to take our place.
Millions.
Ain't nothing you can do about it. Yep. Like he told Paul, like Paul said in Romans 11, the Lord got men in reserve. Just like he had in the time of Elijah. He got men in reserve. All praise to the Most High. We can understand what we seeing here.
Them devils
ain't got no idea.
Them devils got to be looking at this like, man, they know it's a God. Mm-hmm. They been trying to kill us for all the way back here.
Yeah. They
like that. These niggas still keep lasting. How are they doing it? It's a God of Israel.
Right.
You want me to keep going?
Yeah. Yeah, keep going for now.
First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 23. Now as soon as he left off speaking, he leaped suddenly upon them. And so Saron and his host was overthrown before him. And
hold on. Soon as he finished speaking, he leapt suddenly on him.
Spirit jumped right on him.
Yeah, like he was like the people say, he was about that life. Mm-hmm. Soon as he finished talking, he was like, let's get it in. Let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah, keep going. We're going to go down to 27.
Verse 24. And they pursued them from going down of Beth Heron unto the plain where unto the plain where were slain about 800 men of them, and the residue fled into the land of the Philistines. Then began the fear of Judas and his brethren, and an exceeding great dread to fall upon the nations round about them.
Yo, what that sound like, man? That sound like Ezekiel 37.
Oh. Ezekiel 37, Wisdom of Solomon 5, when,
Right.
that bold man standing up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
But Ezekiel said that they're going to stand together an exceeding great army.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, they don't want to see that.
No,
Because they know, yeah.
great fear gonna fall upon them, like I said. Great fear fall upon those that seen that army rising up. That's why they see our people right now. They seeing, brothers. You got brothers marching. They just seeing big, large groups of Israelites everywhere. Yo, it's scary to them. They don't know what to do.
Man, I saw a video. It was some pastors, like they have a call-in session, and a dude called him, Edomite called him, and he said, I met these guys on the streets, and they call themselves Israelites, and they hit me with these scriptures, and it's like, can you help me with them?
Right.
Done. That's fear. And the dude had no answer for him. The pastor had no answer for him.
Give you a mouth that your enemies ain't gonna be able to gain.
Right. Then began the fear of Judas and his brethren, and an exceeding great dread. That fear. What do you think?
That's a detailed scribe type of fear right here that they talking about. An exceeding great dreadful fear.
Right. That's in game. You got our people that think they can pick up guns and make a difference. No, you ain't gonna outgun the gunner.
Right. You gonna go to war. You gonna go to war with Esau with his weapons.
Shoot.
Verse 26.
Yeah.
Verse 26. And so much as his fame came unto the king, and all the nations talked of the battles of Judas.
Damn, that word was spreading.
Now when King Antiochus heard these things, like I said, that Antiochus, and when King Antiochus heard these things, he was full of indignation.
That we read that in Daniel. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Wherefore he sent and gathered together all the forces of his realm, even a very strong army. They're gonna do that. They're doing that right now.
Mm-hmm. Now jump down to 35.
The First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 35. To wit, that he should send an army against them to destroy and root out the strength of Israel and the remnant of Jerusalem, and to take away their memorial from that place.
Damn.
Verse 36. And that he should place strangers in all their quarters and divide their land by lot.
So wicked. Because the land is divided to us by lot.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. They're trying to remove us out.
Replace us. Verse 37.
And look, the Greeks tried, they started things, but the Romans finished it. Because just like, we were reading about what Antiochus did and Alexander, but what's his face, the Agagite, dealing with Mordecai, he was trying to eradicate us at that time.
Haman.
Yeah, Haman. That was before this.
Yeah, Haman.
They always trying to do the same thing. They're trying to destroy us fully.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And Haman is of the lineage, same line Alexander come from, same people. Macedonian, right? Same people. Verse 36. And that he should place strangers in all their quarters and divide their land by lot. So the king took half of the forces that remained and departed from Antioch, his royal city.
See that?
That's great. That's
New
Testament.
Antiochus, his royal city, Antioch. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
New Testament.
Yep.
The 147th year, and having passed the river Euphrates, he went through the high countries. Then Lysis chose Ptolemy, the son of Daramenes, and Nicanor and Gorius, mighty men of the king's friends.
You know, when Jeremiah get the words like that, he just go, okay. Names like that. You go ahead.
Gotta pronounce them out best as I can. Verse 39. And with them he sent 40,000 footmen and 7,000 horsemen to go into the land of Judah and to destroy it, as the king commanded. So they went forth with all their power and came and pitched by Emis in the plain country.
Mm-hmm.
And the merchants of the country, hearing the fame of them, took silver and gold very much with servants, and came into the camp to buy the children of Israel for slaves.
To buy the children of Israel for slaves. You know, I have a question for my Jewish counterparts. Can you please show us at any time period that you were sold into slavery? Where's the artifacts of your people being in chains? Where are the paintings of your people being in chains? I have yet to see any Jewish person with the black hat, the black suit.
Where's their attire? Not to cut you off. Where's that attire written in the scriptures? Black suits, the little kufi hat. Where's that written in the scriptures? Just like we asked y'all about, why is the priest putting his mouth on a little baby's private part? Talk about circumcision, sucking the blood out. Where's all that written in the scriptures? They can't prove that.
It's in the Talmud. It's not in the scriptures. It's not in the scriptures. And, you know, I'm in a group battling them, and the last thing they want to do is go pull a verse
from the scriptures. They want to deal with the Talmud.
Right, because as soon as they pull a verse, they get destroyed. So they try to stay away from it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so to buy the children of Israel for slaves.
By the children of Israel. A power also of Syria and of the land of the Philistines joined themselves unto them. Verse 42.
Now watch this spirit. You can see it, everything we've read before, but it continues. Look at the spirit that's on these brothers. It's not about themselves. It's not about one man or two men. It's about everybody. Go ahead.
Right. There is no that's what I was looking for. There is no preeminence on these brothers.
Right.
You know what I mean? These brothers is in line with each other, and they know it's about the nation. There is no preeminence. And verse 42. Now when Judas and his brethren saw that miseries were multiplied, and that the forces did encamp themselves in their borders, for they knew how the king had given commandment to destroy the people.
Damn.
And utterly abolish them.
That would mean so abolish would be to
do
kick us out
away.
the land.
Do away with.
Now that didn't come in because see, this is before Christ. So Christ had to come. Now after Christ was gone, the Romans enacted that. You could not come to Jerusalem by force of death. Death. Go ahead.
First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 43. They said one to another, let us restore the decayed state of our people.
Damn. That's what we saying now.
Right now. Right now. Let us build this destroyed, decayed state of the children of Israel, of the so-called blacks, you so-called Hispanic natives whose fathers are Negro or the Indian descent. We trying to restore the decayed state of you.
Right. Go ahead.
They said one to another, let us restore the decayed state of our people, and let us fight for our people and the sanctuary. Then was the congregation gathered together that they might be ready for battle, and that they might pray and ask mercy and compassion.
And it says, it didn't say the children of Israel right here. It said the congregation. We are the congregation.
Right.
Always, we were and always will be the congregation.
Yep.
Damn. that they might pray and ask mercy and compassion.
Now, you see what they asking for? How you think they was treating one another? There's no possible way they can ask for mercy and compassion if they not showing that to one another.
Right. Damn. All right.
Verse 45. Keep going.
Yeah.
First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 45. Now Jerusalem lay void as a wilderness. There was none of her children that went in or out. The sanctuary also was trodden down, and aliens kept the stronghold. The heathen had their habitation in that place, and joy was taken from Jacob, and the pipe with the harp ceased.
Now we gotta stop for a second. So we're not moving. We're not going in or out. The nations have our land, our sanctuary, everything is under their control. And this is the abomination of desolation. Now, I'm going to ask this question. What the hell's going over in Jerusalem right now?
Damn, I was just thinking that. Abomination of desolation.
Right. Right. But you got, in Christianity, they're waiting for the abomination of desolation. Like, no.
No, it's happening. Been happening, still happening right now.
Right.
Because you devils is in the land and you don't belong there.
And they're waiting on the Antichrist to come. Go look in the damn mirror.
You nigga, I say you devils his.
Right.
That's crazy. That's how you know, man, the Most High got these people delusional as hell. In derision. In derision. Oh, my goodness. All right, where we at? We just read verse 45. Keep reading.
Yeah.
I know where you're going down to. Verse 46. Wherefore the Israelites assembled themselves together and came to Maspah over against Jerusalem. For in Maspah was the place where they prayed aforetime in Israel. Then they fasted that day and put on sackcloth and cast ashes upon their heads and rent their clothes.
This is so that you cannot get by this. The thing that have been is that which shall be. Read the next verse.
Verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
The same damn thing today. The same thing. The Romans did it next.
Yep.
And it's happening to this day. You got white man Jesus. They're in the land controlling it. They in there at the Holy Church of the Sepulchre, and at the same time, then they got their older brother, Amalek, in the synagogues over there. But our people are so spiritually blind, we don't see this stuff, man. We can't see it. It's so plain.
Vision is blurred.
You ain't joking about that.
Keep reading.
Yeah, keep going.
Verse 49. They brought also the priests. They brought also the priests' garments and the first fruits and the tithes and the Nazarites they stirred up, who had accomplished their days. Then cried they with a loud voice toward heaven, saying, What shall we do with these? And whither shall we carry them away? For the sanctuary is trodden down and profane, and thy priests are in heaviness and brought low.
Your priests are sad, and they of the priesthood. Remember, he said, "Why? Wherefore?" Hold on, chapter 2, because he's talking about them. Yeah, chapter 2 and verse 7.
All right here. This the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 7. He said, Woe is me! Wherefore was I born? Wherefore was I born? To see the misery of my people, and of the holy city, to dwell there, when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers. That man said, Woe is me! Why was I born? I bet he won't celebrate no birthday.
Nope. The same thing today. It's the same. Our people in the same estate. Strangers in our sanctuary. And we're trodden down. Oh, I was talking to the brothers last night after class. Like, why are you born and set here where you're at right now? Because that's what he asked, basically asking the same question. Why am I here right now to see this misery, man?
To help restore
right.
the decayed state of your people.
You got a job.
You got a job to do. Knowing you an Israelite. That's why you Israelite brothers, man. You gotta, man. If you ain't involved in the work, get involved. The scripture tell you in the what is that? I think it's 1 Corinthians or 2 Corinthians, but it tell you to wherever you build with. If you don't have a congregation, you get with a group of people. Addict yourself to that ministry. Whatever ministry you got, man, addict yourself to it and get to doing the works.
All praises. Verse 52.
4, right? Chapter 4? No, we in chapter 3.
3 and 52.
This the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 52. And lo, the heathen are assembled together against us to destroy us. What things they imagine against us, thou knowest.
Right.
How shall we be able to stand against them, except thou, O God, be our help?
Damn.
Then sounded they with trumpets, and cried with a loud voice. And after this, Judas ordained captains over the people, even captains over thousands, and over hundreds, and over 50s, and over 10s. But as for such as were building houses, or had betrothed wives, or were planting vineyards, or were fearful, those he commanded that they should return every man to his house according to the law.
It's funny because Christ brings this up in the New Testament. The same thing. Damn, we gonna.
That's going into the law. Going to that's Deuteronomy. Mm-hmm. Yep, you fearful? Oh, go back in the house, because what you gonna do is these men ready for war. All you need is one fearful person to mess up the whole spirit of the rest of your brothers.
Right. Right. If everybody ain't created with the same spirit.
Right.
Everybody's the Lord created everything for Himself, so everybody has a different purpose.
Yep.
Jana Tripp, but keep going.
Verse 57. First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 57. So the camp removed and pitched upon the south side of Emmaus. And Judas said, arm yourselves and be valiant men, and see that ye be in readiness against the morning, that ye may fight with these nations that are assembled together against us to destroy us and our sanctuary.
So this is gonna happen again. Mm-hmm. World War III. When Christ coming, everybody gonna turn to fight against Him.
Mm-hmm. Verse 59. For it is better for us to die in battle than to behold the calamities of our people in our sanctuary. Nevertheless, as the will of God is in heaven, so let Him do.
Right, it's
All
His
praises.
will.
Most High will, man. Let Him do it.
For that verse, but that verse 59, it's better for us to die in battle than to behold the calamities of our people. When you see some evil being done to your people, and you get to the point where you like, I can't take it no more.
Right.
And then you got to jump in. That's what he's saying. So if you're gonna die.
Die doing the work. Yeah, die doing the work.
You would rather jump in there and die than to see that happen to your people, man. If you see stuff happening to your people and you don't feel no type of way, something wrong with you. You might be of another nation. Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to take a quick break, y'all. I know I need some refreshments. And then we're going to come back with chapter 4. Yeah, and finish it out.
Gather
All right, shalom, y'all. We back. And we're going to jump right back into it, man. This is so good. It's so good. The book of First Maccabees, chapter 4 and verse 1.
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 4 and verse 1. Then took Gorgarius 5,000 footmen and 1,000 of the best horsemen, and removed out of the camp by night, to the end he might rush in upon the camp of the Jews and smite them suddenly. And the men of the fortress were his guides.
So now jump down to verse 8.
Verse 8. Then said Judas to the men that were with him,
Fear ye not.
can we start at 7?
Yeah, go ahead.
First Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 7. And they saw the camp of the heathen, that it was strong and well harnessed, and compassed round about with horsemen, and these were expert of war. Then said Judas to the men that were with him, Fear ye not their multitude, neither be ye afraid of their assault.
You know what's going on here? You got professional soldiers fighting just Israelites. Those that wanted to keep the charge of the Lord. They want to keep his commandments.
Right.
Versus professional soldiers. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Verse 8. Then said Judas to the men that were with, verse 9. Remember how our fathers were delivered in the Red Sea.
Man, Judas he keep giving them speeches, bro. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
But this go to show, and the times of tribulation, the times is coming for us. When we start to see stuff like this, we always gotta come. We gonna have to do the same thing. That's why the scripture tell you in Romans 15:4 that the things aforetime are written for our learning. Through the scriptures, we have patience and comfort. So in the times of our trouble, Jacob's trouble, we're going to have to come, and when we amongst our people in the areas we at, we're going to have to come right back. Yo, you remember what the Lord did here? You don't remember what the Lord did here? It's to keep reminding our people that the Lord always got us at the end of the day.
You're right on point. Right on point. Look back at what your fathers did.
Mm-hmm.
In the time of their trouble, what did they do?
Right.
They served the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And even though you have those that die, still they got a righteous reward waiting for them when the time comes.
Right, because this death here, it's only bad when you die not serving the Most High. But according to the Lord, Psalms 116 and 15, the Lord said, precious in the sight is the death of all his saints. We know the saints are the Israelites, so you keeping the commandments. This death right here is not the death that Paul, the prophets, the disciples. This ain't the death that they was talking about. Like they was talking about dying spiritually, dying to that flesh.
Right. This ain't nothing but sleep here.
Yeah, that's all it is. Sleep, because the Most High gonna wake you right back up. So take whatever come cheerfully.
Joking.
Verse 9, it says, remember how our fathers were delivered in the Red Sea, when Pharaoh pursued them with an army. Now therefore, let us cry unto heaven, if peradventure the Lord will have mercy upon us, and remember the covenant of our fathers, and destroy this host before our face this day.
Good God.
That so all the heathen may know that there is one who delivereth and saveth in Israel.
Good God. Read it again, bro. Read it again.
Verse 11. Then so all the heathen may know that there is one who delivereth and saveth in Israel.
Damn.
Why they don't think that's not today?
It's all through the scriptures, but hey, give not that which is holy to the dogs. They have deceived us wholeheartedly. I'm curious to see how the Edomite Christian community is going to handle the Israelites, because all they have done now to this point is sit their dogs on us, our own people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And let the ADL come on the media and all throughout the media coverage and just spew wicked lies.
Mm-hmm.
raising false reports that the Bible false reports and half truths that the Bible speaks about, raising a false report on a person. Satan, the accuser of the brethren.
But it's our brothers. So like I keep saying, I'm in this group where we're dealing with Jewish folks. There's one or two Edomites in there that say stuff. The rest of them be our people that's in Judaism, fighting tooth and nail for them.
That's crazy.
That don't make no damn sense.
I seen that brother with that black hat. He looked just like one of them too, man. I said, man, you can't make this up. You left Christianity to go join Judaism. I don't know which one. Well, to me they all one the damn same anyway. They all one the same. But damn, how you left Christianity to go join Judaism?
So look, let me like put y'all on something. So for years, the Jewish community of Israel, they go around the earth searching for Jews. And the thing about that is, when they find some people that are keeping customs, keeping some of the laws, a semblance of the laws, what they do is they give them a DNA test and say, y'all are Jewish. Mm-hmm. And then they try to hit them with that damn Talmud and Judaism. To like Christ said, to turn them twice more a child of hell than they were before. Because they done found some people in Zimbabwe, and they got them wearing the damn yarmulkes and the prayer shawls and all that stuff. You can't make this stuff up. It's 100% Satan. That's what it is. It's Satan. He's using Judaism and Christianity to destroy our people.
And let me read this real quick. This the book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it's because there is no light in them. That's how you're going to be able to identify a false prophet. Because the prophets of the Lord, they always spoke, and when they spoke, it was to the commandments of the Lord, and it was the testimonies through Christ. Always. Yeah. So if people not coming this way when we get to talking about the Bible and going into the scriptures, if they not coming to the law and to the testimony, that's how you can easily spot a false prophet. That's how we keep telling y'all that these people are not the royal, they're not the people of the Lord.
All the prophets prophesied of Christ.
Right.
From
Moses. Right, from Moses.
They all prophesied of Christ.
Right.
But these people can't see not one single prophecy. Oh, that's not talking about him. That's a problem.
They don't even believe in Messiah.
To the law and to the testimony. Right. And you ask them what's the testimony?
They don't know.
No answer. You ask a Christian what's the law? Oh, that's we don't have to worry about that.
No. Just keep the first two, brother.
Yeah, two ends of the spectrum. We're in the middle. Right. We're doing both. Like it said.
Gotta fight the testimony with you Negroes. Then gotta fight the law with these Negroes. You can't win in Israel.
I tell you, man. All right, where we at?
First Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 12. This the book of First Maccabees chapter 4 verse 11. So they all, it's 12. Mm-hmm. First Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 12. Then the strangers lifted up their eyes and saw them coming over against them. Wherefore they went out of the camp to battle. But they that were with Judas sounded their trumpets. So they joined battle, and the heathen, being discomfited, fled into the plain.
Right, so they dipped.
Oh, that is.
They was getting whooped, and so they dipped. Now jump down to 21. Pick up there.
First Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 21. When therefore they perceived these things, they were so afraid. And seeing also the host of Judas in the plain ready to fight, they fled every one into the land of the strangers.
Now remember, it was way more of them than it was of Judas and his brethren. So like he was saying, it's not on the multitude, but it's of the Lord. They fled. And they was popping off, but they end up fleeing.
And the Lord always shows this throughout the scriptures, y'all. He always show it. Look at Samson. Samson went to war with 1,000 men. What a daggone, what kind of bone that was? Somebody jawbone.
Yeah, ass.
Yeah. So he one man, then killed 1,000 men. So that's scripture, man. The Lord already said, man, we in the scriptures, man, you keep my commandments, man. Y'all gonna put to flight 100 men gonna put to flight 10,000 men. So we already read that in the scriptures that, man, we do what the Lord say do. He gonna fight for us every time. Verse 22.
Yeah, keep going. You're gonna go down to 25 right here.
What verse I stopped at? First Maccabees 4
22
and 22. Okay. Then fled everyone into the land of the strangers. Then Judas returned to spoil the tents, where they got much gold and silver, and blue silk and purple and the purple of the sea and great riches.
Man, yo, just that blue and that purple is hard to come. Purple of the sea, they had to get that out of snails. Yeah, a certain sea snail. That stuff was hard to come by. That's why only royalty wore purple.
Oh, okay.
They done spoiled them.
Okay. Verse 24.
See, people don't even realize that. Mm-hmm. But battling Christians, I learned all this stuff because it's in the scripts, right? Real quick, Acts 16.
You put purple on Christ.
That's why they did that. Yeah,
mocking them. Yeah. You the king of the Jews, right? Yeah. Acts 16 and what?
13, verse 13 and 14.
This the book of Acts, chapter 16 and verse 13. And on the Sabbath, we went out of the city by a riverside where prayer was wont to be made. And we sat down and spake unto the woman which resorted there. Mm-hmm. And a certain woman named Lydia, a seller of purple of the city of Thyatira, which worshiped God, heard us, whose heart the Lord opened, that she attended unto the things which were spoken of Paul.
Now, so when I looked at this, it says seller of purple. Even when you go back into Proverbs, the virtuous woman, she makes garments of purple in there. And then in my book, Benjamin of Tudela, in Thyatira, our people were known for making garments of purple. But the reason I did this research is because a pastor said that the Lord, this woman was a Gentile and the Lord opened her heart. No, that verse says that this woman, she worshiped God, whose heart the Lord opened. She was already worshiping him. She was a Jew from Thyatira. It's that simple. And they were there praying, and she heard them, and they spoke with her, and the Lord opened up her heart to understand Christ. They tell so many lies, but I have 100% confidence in everything because I done studied it. All right, back where were we? First Maccabees 4 and 24 now. 24. So Judas and them spoiled them and took their gold, silver, and blue silk, purple of the sea, and great riches.
Let me get that. First Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 24. After this, they went home and sung a song of thanksgiving and praised the Lord in heaven because it is good, because his mercy endureth forever.
Right, because the Lord's mercy endureth forever towards Israel.
Can't never take that away.
Right, we're getting destroyed because of our sins. These brothers rise up and they're fighting for our people and asking for grace and mercy from the Lord. Go ahead.
Thus Israel had great deliverance that day.
Now jump down to 28. Just 28.
Then the next year, therefore following Lysias gathered together 70,000 choice men afoot and 5,000 horsemen, that he might subdue them.
Right, so he's trying to get some get back.
Right.
Gather some people the next year. Go ahead.
So they came to Idumea and pitched their tents in Beth Shura. And Judas met them with 10,000 men. And when he saw the mighty army, he prayed and said, Blessed art thou, O Savior of Israel, who didst quell the violence of mighty men by the hand of thy servant David, and gavest the host of strangers into the hands of Jonathan, the son of Saul, and his armor bearer. Verse 31, shut up his army in the hand of thy people Israel, and let them be confounded in their power and horsemen.
Damn, we should be we should be praying all the time
For the destruction
against our enemies.
Right? Yep.
Damn. Go ahead.
Make them to be of no courage, and cause the boldness of their strength to fall away, and let them quake at their destruction. Cast them down with the sword. Cast them down with the sword of them that love thee. And let all those that know thy name praise thee with thanksgiving.
So he praying that the Lord give them, Israel, at this time, power to slay their enemies by the sword. They weren't praying that everybody be at peace and hold hands together. This is not Christianity. This is these brothers fighting, like they said, for their wives, their children, and their brethren, and their sanctuary, and for the law of the Lord. All right, verse 30, 34. We ain't got too much. We ain't got too much. Nope. I mean, because we got to read all this that's left.
Verse 34. So they joined battle, and there were slain of the host of Lysias about 5,000 men. Even before them were they slain. Now when Lysias saw his army put to flight, and the multitude of Judah's soldiers, and how they were ready either to live or die violently, he went into Antiochia. Did I say that right? Antiochia, and gathered together a company of strangers, and having made his army greater than it, was he purposed to come again to Judea.
Hold on. That joint said when Lysias saw his army put to flight, and the manliness of Judah's soldiers, he said to himself, let me go back and get some more soldiers.
I need some more people.
And that was 60,000 versus 10,000. He's like, let me go get some more folks.
What you gonna get? You better come bring back 200,000. That's what they. That's what the Persians did in 300. Yup, that's exactly what the Persians did in 300. They had Xerxes went in. He was hearing about, dang, they doing this, they doing that. Xerxes, he made that army so great that you just couldn't come against that thing.
Damn, verse 36.
Verse 36. Then said Judas and his brethren, Behold, our enemies are discomfited. Let us go up to cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary.
Right. So while they doing that, it's like, this is the time.
This is the time for us to go in. Yep.
And cleanse our sanctuary. Mm-hmm.
Upon this, all the hosts assembled themselves together and went up into Mount Sion. Mm-hmm. And when they saw the sanctuary desolate and the altar profane, and the gates burnt up, and the shrubs growing in the courts as in a forest, or in one of the mountains, the priest's chambers pulled down. They rent their clothes and made great lamentation, and cast ashes upon their heads.
That's what our people do when we're in mourning. Mm-hmm. So you had, I remember during this time period, I think like when you read in 2 Maccabees 3, where they came to steal the money out of the treasury. But it was such a sight for people to see, to come to Jerusalem and see the temple and everything, how beautiful it was. You even had kings of other nations donating money every year for the upkeep of it.
Mm.
And now these Greeks have come and done wickedly, and now everything just looks horrible. So our brothers, they're in mourning. That's what they're doing, wearing sackcloth and putting the ashes upon their head. Yeah, so they rent their clothes and made great lamentation and cast ashes upon their head. That's how we mourn.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, verse 40.
Verse 40. And fell down flat to the ground upon their faces, and blew an alarm with the trumpets and cried towards heaven. Then Judas appointed certain men to fight against those that were in the fortress until he had cleansed the sanctuary.
Right, so they're fighting while they're cleansing the temple, the sanctuary.
Keep them off him.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So he chose priests of blameless conversation, such as had pleasure in the law. Ezekiel, what's that? Ezekiel 9? Or say the leaders of this people calls them the error. Talk about those priests then, just like the scribes and the Pharisees. These people were not the people that would have been picked. Just like right now, you see these Christian pastors. They ain't the priests that Judas would have picked.
Right.
Because they turning our people away from God's laws.
Yeah, Isaiah 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Isaiah 9. Yeah.
You keep seeing they keep talking about the law, and those that are zealous of the law, and those that want to fight for the law. Our hearts got to be like that. It has to be like that. And and the law was given to us by God. I don't understand it. Because when you listen to the Lord is saying,
none of Moses' laws.
Shoot. The Lord is saying that if you keep my commandments, you love me. If you break them, you hate me. And these people are teaching you not to keep the commandments. It don't make no damn sense.
Yo, something in a person's mind is just, damn.
Oh, real quick, man. It's Exodus 20.
Yo, that's
It don't make no sense. And people be talking about the 10 commandments.
And don't even keep the 10.
All I want is verse 5.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the generation unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
How do you hate him? By breaking his commandments.
Serving other gods, serving idols.
Right. And these people are telling you that you don't have to keep the commandments. And then you wonder why all this stuff happening. You hate the Most High.
Right. Simple.
To hell with what they say, because they're not the ones beating you. Getting you beat down.
Right. They doing the beating and then telling you how to. Man, come on.
It don't make no sense. Hold on. Next verse. Because the opposite of hating them is loving them.
Exodus 20 and verse 6. And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments.
It's so simple. How can you, like it's saying in Galatians, who have bewitched you?
Right. Who bewitched
Who
you?
the hell told you that you don't have to keep the commandments? Oh, you don't need that for salvation.
People that are cursed.
Oh, yeah.
Like it say, like, man, he that preach of another Christ, man, let him be accursed. And they ought to, and it's crazy because these are the, can we go to Isaiah 34 real quick? Sure. I know real quick.
Man, we're good on time.
Okay, all right, real quick. Yeah, all right, real quick. The people that these pastors, these black pastors, who taught them that, is these theologian schools, these seminary schools, which are ran by Edomites. White people are running these. These people run these schools or whatnot. So our people are being taught directly from the same people that's oppressing us.
It don't make no damn sense.
It don't make no sense. Go ahead.
Before you read that, let me say this real quick. Martin Luther King. Where did he get his name from?
Perfect.
Martin Luther. He's the one that came up with the doctrine. You don't have to do no works. All you got to do is believe. And who is that? Our enemies. That's where this stuff come from.
Isaiah 34, start at verse 1. I ain't gonna read all this. I'm just it ain't too much. I'm about to get straight to the point though. Go ahead.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear.
Come on.
And hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein. The world and all things that come forth of it.
Right, come on.
For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations.
Is upon all nations. Come on.
And his fury upon all their armies.
Yeah, all their armies, they rising up, space for all that. The Lord's anger is for all of that. Come on.
He have utterly destroyed them.
The Bible's already let you know that the nations you already destroyed. You trying to fight against us, you fighting a battle you can't win. Come on.
He have delivered them to the slaughter.
The Lord said he already delivered this people to the slaughter. Go read the book of Obadiah. They are already delivered to the slaughter. Now jump down to verse 5.
Verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven.
Come on, watch this.
Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea.
Shall come down on who?
Idumea.
Your friendly neighborhood white man today. Come on.
And upon the people of my curse to judgment.
Upon the people of the Lord's curse. So you learning doctrine from a people that the Bible is saying is a cursed people, and they teaching you a doctrine that brought curses upon us. Break the commandments of the Lord. The Lord said you break these commandments in Deuteronomy 28, all these curses gonna come upon you. Now you a cursed people just like they are. Only difference is Israel. All praises for mercy because the Lord allowed you to repent through Christ.
And when you look at this, the main destruction of our people came at the hands of the Greeks, who are Edomites. The hands of the Romans, who are Edomites. And the hands of the so-called Europeans, who are Edomites.
And today, the so-called Americans, who are Edomites. This is an ongoing pattern in the scriptures.
But we blind and can't see it.
That's crazy. That's why the Bible say never trust your enemies. Supposed to study them.
Right. They studied you, that's for sure.
What verse we stopped on in the first Maccabees? 42?
Yeah.
First Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 42. So he chose priests of blameless conversation, such as had pleasure in the law, who cleansed the sanctuary and bear out the defiled stones into an unclean place.
Now let me I gotta say this real quick, because if you're not of the priesthood, you go up in that joint, you getting destroyed. You getting put to death. Now the nations, they went up in there and did that. It was already prophesied. The Lord had them do that. But our people, we still got to keep it. So he made sure they was a blameless conversation, meaning they was walking upright, because he know you better not go up in there. All of this is in the law. You got those people that say the Apocrypha is not authoritative when every single thing in here is according to the law.
That's crazy. How would we even know about man, y'all going to the stores, right? You go into the stores and as we going shopping, you see all the Hanukkah stuff. Where am I read about it at though?
Right.
Without the Apocrypha. That's another thing I'm seeing more of in stores. More and more Hanukkah stuff. And maybe I just ain't pay attention to it like that because I never. Huh? No. About 7 years for that, homeboy. yeah. It seems like it's just more. You starting to see more and more stuff. You know what I mean? Like in the stores when it comes to our traditions and our holy days now.
Yeah. So the Lord, you can see it happening. The Lord is opening all that up, because once upon a time you was frowned upon if you had a beard. Now it's common.
Yeah, not common. It's love too.
Right. And so now,
Military relaxing it.
Yep. Military. Yeah, you could. Yeah, they allow them to keep their beards now.
And now you could just say I'm Jewish. They got Day of Atonement. They gave the kids off. So they getting Jewish holidays, which is still
Lord set it up for us.
Our feast days.
Yeah.
He making it easy for us to repent.
Right. All praises. All praises.
No excuse.
Right.
Damn.
Verse 43 again. It says, who cleanse the sanctuary and bear out the defiled stones into an unclean
They
place.
defile stones. Because remember now, you
Boy,
can't.
that's crazy.
You know they don't put. They offer their own swine flesh and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
So you go back to Exodus 20, and it's that stone, that altar is supposed to represent Christ. How you gonna? It gotta go. Ain't no you can't sacrifice on that.
Now, 1 Peter 2. Israel, you are as lively stones,
Yep.
building up that spiritual house. But the undefiled stones, they have to be removed. It says, and when as they consulted what to do with the altar of burnt offerings, which was profane, they thought it best to pull it down, lest it should be a reproach to them, because the heathen had defiled it. Wherefore they pulled it down.
Hold on now. This is yo. We got time. Exodus 20, man. That altar is Christ. 100%. It represents Christ. So this is why they pull it down.
It was.
Verse.
You said Exodus 20?
Yeah, Exodus 20 and verse 24.
I don't know what that is, don't I? Exodus chapter 20 and verse 24. An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings and thy peace offerings, thy sheep and thy oxen. In all places where I record my name, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee.
Go ahead.
And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of hewed stone. For if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it.
So that altar represents Christ. In Christianity, they have altered the stone by forming it to make it their doctrine. They destroy Christ in that way. Here, they sacrifice unclean animals on that stone. So the brothers is like, nah, we got to completely remove that. It's unclean now.
Ain't no cleansing that.
Nope.
You just got to make another one.
Hey, man, that's why. You just leave that right there. Hey, sometimes we've been so destroyed, the Lord gives us a chance and bring us back. We don't have no memory of what we did before. All right, where we at?
45.
Yeah. 45.
It says they thought it best to pull it down, lest it should be a reproach to them, because the heathen had defiled it. Wherefore they pulled it down, and laid up the stones in the mountain of the temple in a convenient place, until there should come a prophet to show what should be done with them. Then they took whole stones according to the law, and built a new altar according to the former.
See, whole stones. You can't put a tool. You cannot alter it. So you got to take... Because remember, it represents Christ. Christ is that stone made without hands.
And you can't alter nothing on him.
Nope, nothing. Everybody keep trying to formulate them to make them what they want them to be. No.
Trying to... Right. If they would have broke his bone, that would have been altering it.
Yeah.
Altering him, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Damn, man.
That's crazy. Verse 47. Then they took whole stones according to the law, and built a new altar according to the former, and made up the sanctuary and the things that were within the temple, and hollowed the courts. They made also new holy vessels, and into the temple they brought the candlestick and the altar of burnt offerings of incense and the table.
Damn. So when you're looking at this, you know, like we said, there's a physical and there's a spiritual. The same thing has to be done within us. You got to cleanse your temple and then put all these things that's supposed to be in it. That candlestick, the seven spirits of the Lord.
Christ is in the middle.
Right. Go ahead.
Verse 50. And upon the altar they burned incense, and the lamps that were upon the candlestick they lighted, that they might give light in the temple.
The incense, the sweet savor of the Lord.
Yep. Verse 51. Furthermore, they set the loaves upon the table, and spread out the veils, and finished all the works which they had begun to make. Now on the 5 and 20th day of the ninth month, which is called the month of Caslu, and the 140 and 8 year, they rose up betimes in the morning, and offered sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar of the burnt offerings which they made. Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it. Even in that it was dedicated with songs and citrons and harps and cymbals. Verse 55. Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the God of heaven, who had given them good success.
They understood where their good success came from.
Joshua 1 and 8 just went over there. Dang.
You got to understand, because all of this stuff that's around us is going to fail. You cannot make your people better by monetary gain.
Nope.
Money is a defense, but it's not going to help us as a people. I always say,
it's a defense, though.
Yeah, it's a defense.
Damn good defense, but
you look at LeBron James, and I saw the other day the little clip. Shut up and dribble.
Economic slave. I just said that this morning when we raising our kids up in these sports. You raising your child to be an economic slave, man, we gonna have to break that cycle too. Cause all our people, this is what you see. But you don't understand. Look at LeBron James. He don't have a voice. That man can't get up there and just say what he wanna say. What's the purpose of me having all this money, these billions of dollars, these everything in this world, but yet I don't have my own voice to speak out and help my people when I want to.
Somebody pick up the phone and call you and say, "Shut up, nigga.
Shut up." Hey, don't say that no more. Man, come on. I can't even see I can't even. Nah. And they got the hat right. And they got that little hat on too. Just made that call. Yeah. You see LeBron when he went to that Jewish wedding?
The dude,
they love him. They love him. Come here, bro. They love him.
That's just like Muhammad Ali and the Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
They try to control him.
Hey man, they gave them. I'm gonna tell you something, man. But Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X, they in the wrong doctrine.
They gave them people hell. Yeah, they gave them people hell. They gave them people hell. Khalid Muhammad, all of them people like they gave them people hell. It says, verse 55, then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the God of heaven, who had given them good success. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days, and offered burnt offerings with gladness, and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise. They decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold and with shields, and the gates of the chambers they renewed, and hanged doors upon them. Thus was their very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away.
Yo, I know I'm looking forward to the reproach of the heathen being put away. To no more be ridiculed, be able to stand on your own 2 feet, to have the damn land that the Lord gave to you and your fathers, your own lot. You ain't got to pay a mortgage or rent or taxes. You ain't got to do none of that stuff because the Lord rightfully gave you your own. Make no sense. Now you got to keep constantly paying your enemies. This is curses, man. I know I'm waiting for them days of reproach to be over.
Let's get back to the Garden of Eden.
Right.
It was really trees in that jank.
Right. Where we at?
Verse 59.
Yeah.
Verse 59. Moreover, Judas and his brethren, with the whole congregation of Israel, ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year, by the space of 8 days, from the 5th and 20th day of the month Caslu, with mirth and gladness. At that time also they builded upon Mount Sion with high walls, strong towers round about, lest the Gentiles should come and tread it down as they had done before. And that's flower people here. And they set there a garrison to keep it, and fulfilled Bethsura to preserve it, that the people might have a defense against Idumea.
Go.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because
crazy.
Idumeans, every time we get put out the land, Idumeans come in and take it.
And that go to show, it said in verse 60, was it 60? No, 60. It said at that time they built it up the Mount Sion with high walls, strong towers round about. Remember in Proverbs 28 or 25 or 28, the scripture tell you, if you don't know how to rule your spirit, man, you like a city that's broken down without walls, without this protection. This is protection right here. That's why they built it up like that. So it's showing you, when we don't have a rule over our spirit, we just like a city that the nations can come and just destroy real quick because we don't have that protection.
And they have done that to us. Got you voluntarily eating swine flesh.
Voluntarily. Begging for that thing.
They had to threaten you with death.
Right.
2 Maccabees 10 real quick.
2 Maccabees chapter 10.
And give me verse 5 and
5.
6.
Yep. Okay. This the book of 2 Maccabees chapter 10 and verse 5. 2 Maccabees chapter 10 and verse 5. Now upon the same day that the strangers profaned the temple, on the very same day it was cleansed again. Even the 25th day of the same month, which is Caslu. And they kept it 8 days with gladness, as in the feast of the tabernacles.
Right. So it's patterned after the Feast of Tabernacles. That's how we do it. 8 days.
8 days, right.
Go ahead.
Remembering that not long before they had held the Feast of Tabernacles, when as they wandered in the mountains and dens like beasts.
Right. You're good.
Okay.
So let's go back to chapter 4. But y'all see what our brothers did for each other and for their families, our land, our God, our laws. We have to be reconciled in ourselves, like we read in 1 Maccabees, that they chose rather to die than be defiled by eating meats. In other words, they would rather die and keep the commandments of God than do what the damn heathen told them to do against the Lord. This is why we keep the Feast of Dedication. This is what dedication is all about. Anything you want to add?
No, next week we'll go in the spiritual side. Lord's will, we probably can do that.
I think I might do Antiochus.
Okay.
Next Friday night. But before we go, one little shot. So we did the class on Amalek. It's showing Herod and them. So chapter 5 and verse 1. 1 Maccabees 5 and 1.
First Maccabees chapter 5 and verse 1. Now when the nations round about heard that the altar was built and the sanctuary renewed as before, it displeased them very much.
Damn. They hurt now. They hit. Go ahead.
Wherefore they thought to destroy the generation of Jacob that was among them. And thereupon they began to slay and destroy the people.
Go ahead.
Then Judas fought against the children of Esau in Idumea.
It's like we've been saying, Idumea, those are Edomites. Herod, Edomites.
Right.
Finish that verse out.
Then Judas fought against the children of Esau in Idumea at Rabbitine, because they besieged Israel, and he gave them a great overthrow and abated their courage and took their spoils.
Right. Now let's jump back to 2 Maccabees 10 again.
2 Maccabees 10.
And
15.
Yep, 15.
This the book of
15 and 16.
This the book of 2 Maccabees chapter 10 and verse 15. And therewithal the Idumeans, having gotten in their hand the most commodious holds, kept the Jews occupied, and receiving those that were banished from Jerusalem, they went about to nourish war. Verse 16. Then they that were with Maccabeus made supplication and besought God that he would be their helper. And so they ran with violence upon the strongholds of the Idumeans.
Fighting the Edomites. So eventually they overcome them with John Hyrcanus, and he makes them, if you're going to stay in this land, then you got to keep the commandments.
You got to keep commandments of the Lord.
And that's how they became converts, and then eventually they overcame us. Damn that. So that's going to do it for the Sabbath class.
Oh, praises.
Sabbath might be over by now.
Yeah,
I'm not
it
sure,
should be.
but we hope y'all learned something. And if anything, if you didn't learn anything, learn this. Love and fight for your people, your brothers, your sisters, your wives, your children, your laws, and your God. 1 Corinthians 13.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 13. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 13. And now abideth faith, hope, charity. These three, but the greatest of these is charity.
Dude, you don't think it was charity to fight for your brothers and your sisters? Hey, all praises to the Most High.
Yeah.
Lord's will, we'll see each other tomorrow night.
Yeah, Lord's will. Yep, Maccabean week.
Everybody that's coming, coming for the feast tomorrow, traveling or whatever, we'll send up the prayers. Everybody gets to come and have a righteous celebration.
All praises.
With that, I'm Brother Jacob.
Brother Al Judah.
With that, y'all, we say shalom.
Shalom, family.